Good afternoon. Welcome to Who's Tom and Dick? With your hosts, Martin Weavers and Patrick Mortimer. Good afternoon, Martin.
Good afternoon, Patrick.
How are you today?
I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling on top form.
Oh, good. Yeah, we've got some good news to talk about, haven't we, today?
We've got good news. We've got lots of news.
Yeah. So shall we first go straight into your cancer results that you went for?
From the scan that I went on last week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago. The good news is that my cancer, which I have, as you probably all remember, stage 4, has melted away, as my oncologist said.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Right.
My wife and I are ecstatic, and it's just well, he said melted away. It's just disappeared.
Yeah.
But it never will go away completely. So I mustn't get complacent.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah. And also, it had grown last time, but then I was off my cancer tablets then, and then suddenly I've used these revolutionary laratinib tablets, and they've done what they've done.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Laratinib.
We seem to have a problem with that, don't we?
We do, with all these words.
Yeah, Linny showed me the pictures of your previous and recent scan, and I really couldn't believe what I was looking at.
No. Well, I know I called you, and I was so emotional about it all, and I was calling my family and my children and all that. Trouble is, my daughter's in Romania, so she didn't get the call, but my son got it, and we're as a family, we're just so happy. Time to celebrate at the moment.
And what was your oncologist's remarks on the results?
He thinks that I'm doing fantastic. I asked him if I could lose a little bit of weight. And he said, I've never had anybody ask me that before. He said, I think we just ought to keep going as we are. He said, I'm really happy. And do you know what? I could tell in his face and his voice how happy he was, because I think this is as new to him as it is to me.
Yeah, well, you are a guinea pig on this drug, aren't you?
Yeah. It's only the second person. So, and I think he's looking at these results. I'd love to know the results of the other person. Perhaps I might find out one day if it's just good or bad.
I'm guessing they have to keep that pretty confidential.
Of course, yeah.
Is there an actual name for the cancer you've got?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you say it?
I was hoping you wasn't going to ask me.
No, I thought so.
And the answer to that is no, I can't say.
Right. Okay.
It really is a long one, and I've never learned. I should have learned it really.
You should have done, yeah. Because obviously in situations like this, people are going to ask you what one have you got, because several people out there with lung cancer, and obviously they're going to be impressed by this new drug.
Well, I made it my mission to find out where my defib was. Yeah. So I'm going to now make it my mission to learn what my cancer is.
Yeah.
Perhaps other people have got cancers they don't know the names of.
Well, if you actually find it on Google, there is a pronunciation app on there, and that tells you how to pronounce the word exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit Americanized, I don't know, but that's on there.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Because you sent me a link for lung cancer and all that. There's so many things around. I will read that one that you sent me. That is the beauty of the internet. We can find these things every now and again.
Yeah, well, I think, the forums of lung cancer, there's a lot of people in that situation, and they get a lot of help and relief from knowing that there's others in the same boat.
Well, it's nice they can talk to somebody, because a lot of those people who've got the lung cancer or whatever cancer, they're probably sitting at home on their own.
Yeah.
So the web or Facebook pages are the only communication they get with people. So and of course they can communicate with us, can't they?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, by getting on our website, which is
www.whostomandick.com.
Well done. I'm glad you...
I wasn't ready for that.
Glad you rehearsed it.
Still, thanks for that one.
I thought you just knew it instantly.
Well, I do know it, but when it's thrown at me like that, my statins affect my memory,
Oh, right. Well, so don't forget I have them as well.
Pardon? Anyway, you want to move on to another subject that you've been wanting to discuss, and that's about your...
Well, can I just butt in there, because something's really, really playing on my mind that I didn't do a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I'd mentioned about when we spoke about dementia.
Yeah.
And this lovely lady called Louise wrote in and told me about her group that she's got at Hopton. And I mentioned it was at Hopton.
Yeah.
But there's probably several Hoptons in the world. And this doesn't help anyone who is in a different country apart from England. But where we live, there are 2 Hoptons. There's one near Great Yarmouth and there's one near where I live. Well, this one that Louise runs is near where I live. And it's by the A143, which is the Bury to Diss Road, or the A1066, which is the Thetford to Diss Road as well. So either way, you can get to Hopton that way. And she runs it every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. So
excellent.
That's got that off my chest.
Well done, Martin. And I'll just say for our American listeners, if you take a plane from, I don't know, JFK straight into Heathrow and then follow the A12 up to Norfolk, you'll be close.
Yeah, and I'll even make you a cup of tea.
So anyway, what's this other subject you want to talk about?
Yeah, I had a letter. I mean, we all get letters. I know that from different people and scams and things like this. But mine was actually from the NHS because it's got big, white and blue writing on top. NHS. Other countries probably have other letters, sent to them and all that. But it's to take part in a survey, and you think to yourself, "Oh God, here's another letter." And I'll be honest with you, I was going to throw it in the bin.
Right.
So I thought I'm going to ask my mate Pat what he thinks. So
I think you should do it.
Well,
because I'm sure that there'll be many people who have that attitude.
Yeah, there probably is.
And this is going to go on to help people. So it'll only take a few minutes to do, I'm sure.
It will. Well, they say here it takes 5 to 10 minutes to complete it. And they say why it's important is to understand the effect of cancer on quality of life and the new services that are needed and all things like that. And they compare the answers with information that they get from other investigations,
Yeah,
So,
well, all the treatment and support and help you're getting is probably through people who've committed to things like that.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So I think you should go ahead and do it.
Well, I've got the number here, so I think I'll contact them and I'll keep you posted on if they get back to me on it.
All right.
So and just see what they say.
Lung drains.
Lung drains. Oh, don't get me started on those. They're my specialised subject.
Right.
No, I'm sure that a lot of people who have had cancer will have had a lung drain at some point, and it's not very pleasant. It leaves scars on you afterwards, but it's a thing that I don't think you can do without at the first stages of lung cancer.
Right. Interrupting then. How do we get to a lung drain? I mean, you had fluid on your lungs. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I was.
And how much fluid did you have on your lungs?
Well, it was never calculated completely, but roughly. Well, first of all, I found out I needed a lung drain because I was refereeing a football match and I was getting out a puff, which I never used to do. And so I decided to go to my doctor, who then went, "Oh dear, we better send you for tests." And that's when I found out I'd got the cancer. Then they found out the liquid on my lung was cancerous. So what they had to do was to drain it. So the first drain I went in, they said that they're only allowed to take 1.5 litres.
1.5 litres?
Yeah, from the...
Only?
I think it was, litres, yeah. So anyway, they took that from me and I was still wheezy. Then I had to go back again and I had another 1.5 litres taken from me.
So did you know you had liquid on your lung then? Did you feel anything sloshing about?
I could not. It doesn't.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about 1.5 litres,
I know.
that's a lot of liquid.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of liquid. I never felt a thing. I just felt a wheeziness, and I couldn't turn over to my left-hand side. See, what happens is everybody makes this liquid.
Yeah,
but it's people who got the cancer that it stores in their lung.
Okay.
And so you're making it right now.
Yeah.
I'm making more of it now. But what was happening, it was staying in my lung because of the cancer. It wouldn't go away.
Okay, yeah.
So this is now built up again, as it does, and then I had it drained again. Then the next time I went in, I had 4.5 litres taken away.
What, in one go?
In one go. And they said that was really too much from what they should have done. So they said, we need to really put a drain in straight away. So I had to go to Addenbrooke's Hospital, where they put a drain in the bottom of just by the side of my stomach, right up into my lung with a little tap on it. And it seriously was a little tap.
Right.
The nurses used to come in and they used to drain more water from me, and they used to write down in a book how much they drained from me. And then my wife was taught how to do it as well. So obviously saves on the health professionals coming out. And she did it for me for a little while until we thought we was doing something wrong. There was nothing coming out. And so we called the hospital and the nurses, and they said, "Oh, we'll send a specialist." And so they sent the specialist nurse to us. She tried, couldn't get nothing out. She said, "Well, perhaps it's cleared because the tablets I was on for the cancer actually dried it all up, believe it or not."
Okay, so you don't get it now?
I don't get it at all now. All I've got left is a 5 stitches scar and, on my left-hand side and a little dent in my skin.
And a tap?
Well, I've got the tap still in the cupboard.
I thought you'd put it in a bottle of wine or something.
all the stuff. It's funny because you just they send you all these different things, and we ended up having about 6 or 7 of those packages left in the house for ages afterwards, and then when we started regular appointments, we started taking them in hospital. But the trouble is, they just dispose of them,
Yeah. So what did you do with this liquid? Just tip it down the drain or what?
Yeah, it's literally, well, the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went down the toilet. All the other stuff, the equipment went in a yellow bag.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a funny area here. I'm right on the border of Suffolk and Norfolk.
It's a very funny area.
I know. Some funny people live up here. And I'm living in Norfolk, yet my doctor is in Suffolk. So that's how close the two borders are. So when you try and get something from your doctor and my address is different, they don't want to do it. It's almost, right. we can't send that over there.
Over the border.
Yeah.
Well, I was quite surprised because I had to show me passport to get in this morning.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And they let you through?
Didn't realise.
I couldn't believe they let you through.
In Norfolk.
I said, watch out for that car.
Yeah. Oh, well, so that's a thing of the past now then,
It is a thing of the past. I hope it never, ever happens again. But I'd say it was a thing where, if you've got to have it done, they do inject you. So it's not literally just sticking a long needle in.
What do you mean they inject you?
Well, it goes into the pleural space. You see, there's a little pleural space between your lungs.
Yeah,
and it's called thoracenteritis.
Yeah, you've been practicing that one, haven't you?
I have, yes. I've actually written it down and spaced it apart. So it's thoracenteritis, and it's where the needle goes in the space between your lung. And they can take all the liquid away. So,
okay.
And if you actually do get bad lungs and get all this liquid in, the best drink for it is lemon, ginger, or peppermint tea. That's one good thing. And food-wise, high fibre. You need wheat, spaghetti, or baked beans.
Right. So you spend most of the week in the toilet then?
Well, you never know. But that was all my experience of it.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
Yeah.
So moving on to something else completely different. I was looking at the. This is probably national, not international, but some people will know. I'm a Celebrity starts.
Yeah, it does. How many series have they done now?
I don't know.
Quite a few.
If you're going to ask me questions like that, please let me know in advance, then I can prepare. But I don't know. But that starts down under in Australia.
Yeah.
But this year, one of the Z-list of celebrities they've got in is a lady called Jamie Lynn Spears.
Right.
Britney Spears' sister.
Oh, yes, I have heard about this. My wife told me that she was in it.
Yeah, younger sister, apparently.
Yeah, you were speaking last week about it.
Born in April 1991. Apparently she's an actress.
Oh, okay.
And a singer.
I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, well, I don't think many people know, but that's what she is.
So she's obviously American.
Oh, yeah.
So all our listeners in America are going to know her.
They're going to know her, definitely.
Yeah.
And
apart from us.
She's been on Netflix and Nickelodeon, I think.
Ah, okay.
So we've probably seen her but not spotted her. But the other one that's going in is Nigel Farage, being paid £1 million.
Just over it, $1.5 million, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. I heard $1 million. So
yeah, well, I brought newspapers for you.
Yeah, I hope he chokes. on a kangaroo's ball.
Are we allowed to be biased like that?
I don't know, but in his case, I'll make an exception.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, I'm sure he's come up against a lot of characters in his life, but they'll be watching that one with a lot of interest, I reckon.
A lot of people might think the same of Britney Spears' sister as well.
Yeah.
She jokes on the kangaroos, you know what.
Yeah. Well, whether they can get that in America, I don't know, but it might be worth a watch.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
I will be watching it, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I love the programme.
So it's come round to that time of the day where we go, Martin's Joke of the Week.
I'm sure this is the part they've all been looking for. Do you know what? Sadly, one of my friends, he fell into an upholstery machine this week. But don't worry, he's fully recovered.
Great.
I want one of these. Can we get a cheer after a joke in future?
Well, we can try. I'm not quite sure who from.
Oh, right.
Did you know, Martin, that on the 14th of November this month, it's Prince Charles. No, not Prince Charles. It's actually King Charles now. His 75th birthday.
75th? Well, I should really know because he's our king. But,
Well, according to the Sunday Times, the American listeners might be interested in this, but Meghan Markle and Prince Harry snubbed the King Charles's birthday invite.
Did you snub yours?
Sorry?
Did you snub yours?
No, I went.
Oh, right. Was it good?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Now, they are saying they weren't invited.
Right.
Harry is a bad shopper, apparently, so Meghan bought the present. Any ideas what it might be?
No.
No, nor have I. And I don't know what the answer is. But I'm sure there was an appropriate present there somewhere.
And I'm sure American listeners would know.
Yeah, well, if you do know what the present was, write in. www.whostomandick.com.
That's the one.
And last week we had an interesting subject we covered, which was the air ambulance.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We had the American pilot, Joshua Allison, answer some questions for us, which were really interesting. But did you see, it was the Lord Mayor's show in London.
Right.
And the London Air Ambulance had a float, and they are trying to raise £50 million to buy 2 new air ambulances.
Oh, okay.
They've had 11,000 call-outs since starting, and it's all a charity, which a lot of people don't realise. It's not connected to the NHS. So all the money to run the air ambulance in the UK comes from donations.
That's it. They've always got to keep donating to that because it's just endless. And like you said, if they're getting 2 new ones, you think to yourself, what's wrong with the old ones, first of all? And then you think to yourself, you think of all the new bits of equipment they're going to have on these new helicopters. So, they need to raise loads and loads of money, don't they?
Well, you need to pay the pilots as well and all the staff. It's not just running those helicopters. It's all the staff and med team that are connected with that as well.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I'm glad we raised the money that we did for them. Yeah, because it all goes to help. It's nice that we've had some questions on our forum, and so I'm going to ask Pat to read some out right now.
Well, I've got one here from Dawn. I'm not going to mention her surname. Dawn says, so I got the phone call I've been dreading yesterday. I go into hospital on Monday for my stent operation. Looking forward to hopefully getting back to doing more walking, but not looking forward to the op. If the stent operation goes as well as it did for me, then you've got nothing to worry about. It's nice and easy, no pain, nice speedy recovery, and hopefully that'll all go well for you. So don't fret on that too much. I think you'll be okay.
No, thanks for writing in, Dawn.
Another one we've got here, Martin, that might be for you to answer, especially what we've just discussed about your fluid on the lungs. This one's from Trina. I had a scare this morning. I woke up and my lungs were gurgling. Loads of OC fluid in chest cavity. I got rid of it pretty quickly. First time it's happened. Chest has been clear. I phoned emergency oncology number. Apparently with my condition, this is to be expected. Since getting rid of my fluid, I do feel rough and fluey, but at least I'm not drowning. The original hospital gave me no info on collapsed lung, what to expect or how to deal with it. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I'd definitely get back to the oncologist and find out more information. But it's funny that I've had both these things with the pneumonia and the fluid on the lungs and all that. But I never ever felt that I was drowning. It just always felt uncomfortable. And when you moved in bed, that was the worst time. During the daytime, when you're standing up, apart from being wheezy, I wasn't too bad. I don't know how she feels when she's standing up. It might be. But I know I've changed my pillow position where I lay in bed. Before, I used to just have 2 pillows just laying. Now I actually lay more. I don't lay. I sit upright in bed before I go to sleep. I slip and I end up at the bottom of the bed with my feet touching the bed sometimes, and then I go back up again. But I find, to keep my chest clear by going to bed sitting up, it takes some adjusting because, however, I'm 60. I've just turned 63. So for 62 years, I was laying in a different position completely. So I've had to learn completely a different way of sleeping. I used to like to go to sleep on my right-hand side, but now I have to sleep upright. Definitely get to speak to your oncologist, because the way that you're having to clear it yourself doesn't sound that good. There should be a way that they will help you, and it might be a drain with yourself like that I had.
The way her message comes across doesn't sound as if they're taking her too seriously, and they're saying, that's what you get with this disease. Get on with it, which is a bit rougher, isn't it?
Yeah. No. They should have a little bit more empathy, I think, and have a bit more aftercare. I would have thought.
She doesn't actually say where she's from, whether she's from the UK or from the USA, so we can't really comment on that. But in the UK, they treat it pretty seriously, don't they?
Well, I'm under Barry Snedman's, and my treatment's been first class from the moment I was diagnosed with cancer to now. And certainly when I had the fluid on my lungs, it seemed that it was a matter of just a few days from being told I got cancer that I was being drained.
Yeah.
And then it seemed a few days from when they said, we're going to have to put a permanent drain in, certainly no more than a week and a half. And then they had this permanent drain in me, and it just worked for me. And I hope that she could find something like that, perhaps.
Yeah, so the advice really there is get back to your oncology team.
Yeah, or a doctor first in the first place.
Yeah.
Don't just take my info, but or our info, as we always say. Go to the doctor first, but that's the first case. And good luck with it.
Yeah. Thanks, Trina, for that. Yeah, thanks, Trina, for that. Please let us know how you got on. We'd be very interested.
Definitely.
Okay, we've had another question from Chris. He says, "Hi, I was diagnosed with lung cancer last week and not quite sure what to do." Now, that's a wide question, Martin. How would you go about answering that?
Well, there's several things. You first of all, you need the support of your family and your closest ones in your family and your friends, certainly. It all depends how far from your friends and that you want to take it. I certainly had the love and support of my immediate family straight away, and that's what I needed. It took a while to get my head around what I'd gotten, what I'd been told, and it's a big thing in your life. It's not like making a little decision, or anything like that. You've been told that you've got something hanging over your head, and it's how you've got to make it positive, mate. That's what you need to do. Be really, really positive about it. As I said, involve as many people as you want, and you find your loved ones who will support you.
Yeah, well, I remember when you told me, it was a long while after that you started to tell other people.
Yes.
So you did keep it to yourself for quite some time, or your immediate family as well.
Yeah, I chose that it was my best friends and family, and then the rest of the world, basically, on Facebook, by putting it out there that I'd got it. I was worried about work. That was my thing with my job that I was doing as a singer. I thought that people wouldn't book somebody with cancer.
Yeah.
That was just in my mind, though. Other people might think things differently, and that was the sole reason why I didn't sort of put it out there.
That's okay with the sort of family and telling everybody, but he's sort of saying, what can I do? Taking from that, he's saying, what can he do to help his cancer go away, and treatment and things like that. So I'm guessing...
obviously, the only thing you can do is take all the drugs that you're given, take it seriously, because if you don't take it seriously, there will only be one winner. And I've had to stop my career for mine, because if I go into big crowds, I have the possibility that I can actually catch infections and things like that and end up in hospital, which I did with the pneumonia. So I've now cut my singing career and stopped it, and I limit myself to where I can go and what I want to do.
Yeah. One thing you shouldn't do is start Googling.
No, definitely not.
Because I think you'll just get into so much trouble and so confused. Always just listen to your oncologist.
Mm-hmm,
Would that be good advice?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, they're the experts, and they're the people who know everything they're talking about. And I think you have to put yourself in their hands. I said to mine yesterday, I've trusted you completely, and whatever you've said, I've done. Yeah. And look what's happened to me. I'm not a miracle or nothing like that, but from a few months ago, how I was feeling just okay. Now I feel, on top of the world today. So it just shows you what can happen in a couple of months. And good positive mental attitude. Yeah, I mean, I think all oncologists will probably be different as well, with their different things that they give people. Some people may be set in their ways and won't experiment, whereas I feel that my oncologist has experimented a little bit, not to the fact that he's going to put my life at risk, not at all, but to give this drug a chance. And, it's a brand new drug, and I was only the second person to use it, and it seems it's very good. Yeah, and don't be afraid to write down a load of questions and fire them at your oncologist. Because you can't think of them on the spot sometimes. No, that's right. When you're a one-to-one with the oncologist, it's hard to talk to them sometimes, especially with such a thing like this that's with your life. So, Chris, speak to your oncology team as the advice and ask as many questions as you can. Bombard them with questions if you have to. Yeah, 100%. They're the ones with the answer. Yeah, definitely. Moving on to the coming weeks, we've got an exciting guest coming up. We have. Yeah, we're very excited that next week we've got really important people coming in. Yes, well, our wives have agreed to come in and discuss their side of the story about our illness, how we've dealt with it and how they've dealt with it, and what they think we should or shouldn't do. So I think we're in for a bit of an attack, don't you? I hope not. So that should be interesting to hear a carer's point of view. Definitely. I hate to be put in the position of being the cared for, but it will be interesting to find out. Yeah, we will be doing it a little bit different as well. Instead of me and you talking to each other, we're going to give them a microphone, aren't we? Oh, yes. Yeah, without a doubt. And we won't get the word in edgeways. It'll be like a forum of 4 people, so it'll be a little bit different. But I've also got to mention about the big scoop that I've got for somebody else coming in to do an interview with us. And who's that? He's one of the top oncologists in the country. And it'll be very, very interesting that we can talk to him. So if anybody's got any questions that they would like to ask about cancer and everything involved with that, please put it on our webpage, which is www.whostomandick.com. Yeah, and if not, you can actually press on the side of our webpage and you can actually record a message, which would be fantastic as well. Yeah, we could even put those messages to him. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So, but that's in a couple of weeks' time that we're going to be talking to him. So look out for that one. Okay, so it's really just come to that time of the day where we've got to round things up, Martin. Oh, dear. Don't time fly when you're having fun? It does. Next week, I fear we're going to get a bit of a head bashing. Do you reckon? Yeah. I hope we come out unscathed. Yeah, I think they're going to be good to us. Yeah. Well, you have a good weekend. Yeah, you have a good weekend too. And everybody else who's been listening as well, have a good week. Thanks very much, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.